Hello Giga Chads and welcome to a new video. Today I've got a deck tech for you if you want to build a bear your own mono black combo. So we have Braids as the commander. She says at the beginning of your end step you may sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. If you do, each opponent may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type with it. For each opponent who doesn't, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card. So we're going to count on our opponents not wanting to sacrifice their stuff because who does? Only people that run sacrifice combos, but besides the point, a lot of people don't want to do this, so you're going to get card draw from it. And we're going to essentially abuse that ability by returning creatures from our graveyard to the battlefield, i.e. Bloodsoaked Champion, Gravecrawler, Reassembling Skeleton, and, oh yeah, Bloodghast as well. And there's also a few additional things that we can do to reanimate stuff. We have Karen Feeder in here as a sack outlet, Crypt Breaker to add sack fodder, Blood Artist to assemble one of our mini combos, Zulaport, essentially the same thing, Plague Belcher, same thing, but with Gravecrawler. Because whenever another zombie you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, so we're going to sacrifice Gravecrawler, return it back to the battlefield by casting it from a graveyard if we already have a zombie on the field, but this is a zombie, so it works in that sense. Grim Harvest and Midnight Reaper do the same thing. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you draw a card, but with Midnight Reaper, you lose a life for it. Darn Confidant, you know what it does? Just card advantage. Dothy Voidwalker, card advantage. Jadar creates sack fodder for you. Mindblade Render, card advantage. Demir House card allows you to transmute to get necrotic ooze. This is like jumping from a million things to a million things, but it's build your bear combo. Necrotic ooze. One of the main combos we'll go for because we're going to essentially entomb Scourge Familiar and Asmodeus. And Necrotic ooze has activated abilities of all creature cards in our graveyard. So if Scourge Familiar and Asmodeus are in our graveyard, we can discard 3 cards to add 3 black, pay 3 to draw 7 cards, and essentially do that. And just go through our entire deck and draw it, and add as much black as we need to assemble our combo. One of 1 million combos in this deck. I mean, whatever just perchance happens to you, just assemble it however you want. I mean, you'll figure it out. It's pretty fun to figure out. I mean, just have fun with it. Pitiless Plunderer says whenever another creature you control dies, create a colorless treasure artifact token. So, sack Gravecrawler, add a black, recast it, kill it, add a black, recast it with that black, kill it, add a black, blah blah blah. So essentially, with Plague Belcher, Blood Artist, or Zulaport, you win the game. And then we have Villas and Razaketh, because why not? Imperial Scylla, Tutor. Discard effect to discard our hand if we have these in our hand and we don't want them in our hand, or these in our hand. And then we can also target an opponent, because why not? Reanimate, Unearth to either draw a card or reanimate something. Tutor. Targeted removal for enchantments and or a creature. Night's Whisper, terrible card draw, but it's card draw. Card draw. Entomb for Scourge Familiar and Asmodeus, and you can choose either of these two, because why not? Then we have Crack the Vault, aka a terrible version of Grim Tutor, which is Grim Tutor. Okay, it's just a secret lair. Praetor's Grasp, talks Deluge. Culling the Weak, cut down for targeted removal. Dark Ritual, defile, targeted removal. Entomb, targeted removal. This creates, this allows you to create sack fodder. So if you don't want to end up sacking one of these things, you can just use Undying Malice on it until end of turn. Target creature gains when this creature dies. Return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. Then we have another Tutor. Village Rites for card draw. More mana. Imp's Mischief, the only interaction in the deck. Essentially, you can change the target spell with a single target. You lose life equal to that spell's converted mana cost. I mean, I guess you can also argue that targeted removal is interaction, but yeah, besides the point. Targeted removal. Mausoleum Secrets is another Tutor. Search your library for a black card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Since we're going to have a lot of black cards in our graveyard, we're going to be able to probably tutor for whatever we want with this. Grow Mox, Jewel Lotus, Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, Sensei's Dividing Top, Skull Clamp to get more draws off of our terrible, not terrible, but off of our sack fodder. Soul Ring, Tingle Wire to slow down the table. Phyrexian Altar or Ashnod's Altar, a sack outlet that allows you to net mana from it. Witchclaw Tutor, Mind Stone, Philwar Stone, and Arcane Signet. We also have Phyrexian Reclamation to return cards from our graveyard if need be. Animate Dead, Bitter Blossom, creates sack fodder. Carnival of Souls allows us to abuse returning cards from our graveyard to the battlefield, i.e. the Gravecrawler, Reassembling Skeleton. So if you have Gravecrawler, you're netting 0, Reassembling Skeleton, netting -1, but you're still netting better than if you were to cast it directly from the graveyard without Carnival of Souls on the battlefield. Then we have Necropotence, because why not? Phyrexian Arena, more card advantage. Then we have our lands. Nothing here is too out of the ordinary except for Nykthos, because we have a lot of Devotion to Black. Might as well abuse it. And Peat Bog to get 2 black on turn 2. It's just a way to get more mana to hopefully cast Braids to abuse her ability. And yeah, that's pretty much the deck tech. If you have any comments that you would like to add, you can add a comment. Make sure to like the video and to subscribe to become a Giga Chad today. So yeah, if you like the video, please let me know. And yeah, I'll leave this deck in the description, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace out.